You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast, and this is show number 218 for Sunday the 15th of July 2018.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my good friend Jayne Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Jayne, my lovely.
Hello there, Michelle.
Banning all talk of these topics: weather, football,
Oh, God, yeah.
politics,
Yes.
and what could my fourth one be? Education.
I would say school's out, but nearly.
That's
not
education,
quite.
darling. That's education.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So how's life treating you? Providing you don't mention any of those four topics.
Right. Very good. I'll just say that then. I'm fine, thank you, darling. I daren't speak now for fear that I may divulge into territory that I'm no longer allowed to divulge into.
I know. I can't believe it's the 15th of July already. This month is just flying.
It is. It's spinning by very quickly, and yeah, been quite busy. So it's all go.
It is indeed revving up for my trip, which is now less than a month away.
You see, that seems to have come round rather quick, Michelle. I don't know about you. It just seems to be coming out of nowhere.
Well, I'm starting to have all these panics going on in my head. Have I done this? Have I sorted that? Have I ordered this? Have I bought this? Do I need this? And I went at the weekend to buy toiletries for the trip, and I was like, 20-minute dilemma. Should I buy Pittsburgh or should I buy that P20 stuff?
P20.
Well, that's what I came up with. I bought Pittsburgh for my face, and then I got the P20 stuff, factor 30, in a spray, because I thought, well, this is a solo trip. There's nobody going to be there putting sun cream on my back.
Well, you never know what might happen, Michelle.
No, it won't. Seriously. So I ended up going with a spray. So
Right.
hoping I won't get sunburnt, because obviously I've got quite visible, quite new scars on my arms, and I've got to try and look after my babies, really.
Yes.
Anyway, we've got a fun-packed Disney show, and I'm going to start it this week by saying a big thank you to those of you who have been on iTunes and revamped your iTunes reviews. So thank you, Angie, and thank you, MOS. Very grateful for you doing that. We've had a couple of two newish ones. The first one, I'm at a little bit of a loss.
Okay.
Bless, it's obviously a young man who's done this. My name is Alfie. I am 11 years old and I love Disney. So far, so good. So can you please make some Disney shows with Descendants characters? Thanks, bye.
Okay. Do you know who the Descendants are, Michelle?
No.
Do you not?
Jane, when I introduce the show, what type of podcast is this?
It's a Disney theme park podcast.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't do Disney TV stuff. So I'm really sorry, my lovely. You sound an amazing young man, and I hope I am saying your name right as well, but I don't think we need to get a 1-star review just because we don't do what we say we're not going to do. It's like saying that you're a food podcast and then talking about cricket. You know, we're a theme park podcast. We do what it says on the tin. If they bring in the Descendants into the theme parks, then I suppose I'll have to endure it and watch it.
I was just going to say exactly the same thing. I'm aware of them, and I understand that they are an origin story, etc., and all this malarkey, but that's when my knowledge kind of comes to an end.
Yeah, so sorry, I'm not going to be doing anything on Descendants, so maybe though, I tell you who you do need to speak with, Bob Iger.
Yeah, it's a fountain of information, isn't he?
Yeah, send a letter to Bob in Burbank and say to him, you know, let's get the Descendants in the theme parks so that this brilliant Disney podcast will then talk about it on their podcast so that you can then review it with a 5-star rather than a 1-star.
Ways and means, Michelle, ways and means.
Yeah, it's like they've kind of snuck Eleanor of Avalor into the theme park by getting her to walk around. And I kind of endured it just to find out who she was. But because she's not really an attraction base, and I don't even think the people who are going to the parks know who she is either, I sort of said, yeah, we're okay with that.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I can appreciate they want to bring in, you know, their TV characters into the parks as well. I mean, Eleanor of Avalor, I mean, it's kind of the children that I work with, it's very much the toddler, the preschoolers side of things. And I suppose the descendants would be hitting more of a tween market. So there might be more scope for the descendants in the parks. I don't know.
Well, no, they're going to be busy going on Rock and Roller Coaster.
Potentially, yeah.
Possibly. Anyway, we've got another iTunes review, and this is a real cutie pie. So thank you, Katie Lynn, M25. Left us a lovely review on the 8th of July saying that we put on an entertaining show.
Oh, we try.
And we have a unique perspective.
Oh, we're very unique, Michelle, you and I, very unique.
Unique or special? I'm not quite sure which.
I'm sticking with unique.
And she enjoys hearing about our Disney adventures. Thanks. That's lovely.
Yeah. Well, that's what we try and do, isn't it? Impart a little bit of our experiences and our knowledge and our love of Disney in relation to the theme parks, so...
Looking at the number of people who've left us iTunes reviews and looking at how many people actually listen to the show, I'd appreciate a few more listeners going out and leaving us an iTunes review. It would really make our day, particularly if you're an Australian, because we've only got 4 on the Australian chat, and I know there's a lot more Australians listening to us there. But anywhere in the world, please, please, please give us a review, even if it's a while since you've done it. Refresh it and make it a bit more up to date. We do really love reading what you think about the show, especially if it's a valid comment as well. We're always trying to strive to improve. And if you'd like a discussion with us on anything that you think that we can add to the show, apart from Descendants, or make the show even better, we will more than happily take your point of view. But before we get into this week's show, let's hear from our lovely friend Kieran for On This Day in Disney History.
Hello people, and welcome to This Day in Disney History. Now, I know what you're asking. Why does the audio sound so awful? Well, let me tell you. Sadly, because I haven't actually been plugging Apple products recently in these segments, Apple have kind of hunted me down. So right now, I am in hiding from Apple. So, I'm just going to lay low until the heat gets off me, and then I can go back to having good audio quality. So, welcome to This Day in Disney History, and today we are starting with the 15th of July in 2005, with Disneyland's Space Mountain reopening after its 24-month refurbishment, which saw the track being retained, but additional theming and effects being added. Onwards now to the 17th of July 1955, and the official opening of Disneyland in Anaheim, California opened. At 4:30 p.m, ABC aired a 90-minute Dateline Disneyland show. This show was hosted by Art Linkletter, Bob Cummings, and Ronald Reagan. The official dedication was made by Walt Disney and California Governor Goodwin Knight. A staggering estimated 70 to 90 million people watched the show, meaning it was the largest live TV broadcast to date. Then, in 2005, a rededication ceremony was attended by the then California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, Disney CEO Michael Eisner, Disney's President Robert Iger, Art Linkletter, and Dane Disney Miller. On the 18th of July 1989, Splash Mountain opened to the public, having a dedication ceremony with Michael Eisner, Bear Rabbit, Bear Fox, and Mickey Mouse turning on a water pump. Moving to the 19th of July, and RKO Radio Pictures released Treasure Island. This live-action film cost $1.8 million to make, and was the first Disney film to be made in England. Final entry for this week is on the 21st of July 1999, which saw the issuing of the very first Fast Pass at Walt Disney World. Since then, Walt Disney World has seen the system move away from the paper to the Magic Band system. And that's it from me. And I'll see you in the next show. Goodbye.
So, Jayne, this week in Disney history, big celebration for Anaheim.
Like a celebration, don't we?
Well, Disney do. They've done one for Anaheim every 5 and 10 years, virtually.
Well, it's any excuse for a party is what I always say, but, Absolutely.
And there was quite a lot of attractions opening on this day, and I didn't put them in the show notes at all because there's a very long list, because basically Disneyland opening day attractions all opened.
Oh, well, you would like to think so, yeah.
And in celebration of Disneyland opening, we're going to do a bit of a Disneyland focus in one of the coming features very, very soon. So we'll come back to that shortly. But I've got some news, Jayne, which is just up your street.
Oh, right, what's that?
I found on the internet the announcement of the Star Wars Awards.
The Star Wars Awards?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
It was announced by StarWars.com, okay, that the Star Wars Fan Awards was an opportunity that you would be able to compete in one of a few different categories. So I'll go through the options. You can create a video of up to 5 minutes or a short video of up to 15 seconds.
Right.
You can have best animation, there's best stop motion, best comedy, best choreography, best visual effects. There's an audience choice award, there's a filmmaker select, spirit of fandom, and photos.
Wow. Right.
In the photos section, you've got best scene inspired photo, best family portrait, best throwback photo, best original concept, funniest, best pet photography, best Star Wars food presentation, best in show, and audience choice.
Okay, there's a lot of categories.
There's a lot of categories. Then there's a visual art section where there's best digital art, best photo art, best custom costume.
Oh, yeah.
Best 2D traditional art, best 3D physical art, best costume figure, best costume diorama, best in show, and audience choice. And then the last category is an audience choice award, which basically the fans just vote for people that have submitted an application in this category.
Right, okay.
Now, this opens on July the 18th and runs until the closing date of September 17th. And you're going to be able to vote in the Audience Choice Awards between November the 2nd and November the 13th.
Right.
What do you think they're going to offer as a prize?
Oh, it wouldn't be like a trip to Star Wars Land, would it?
No, it wouldn't.
Oh, I was getting excited there for a minute.
Yeah. There are 34 Star Wars prize packs available with an approximate value of round about $200.
Okay.
You don't have to buy anything to enter, which is something I like, because sometimes you have to go and buy a chocolate bar and eat the chocolate bar, such a hardship. And to be able to enter, you've got to be a legal resident of the 50 US, DC, Canadian states.
Okay.
Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Puerto Rico, and have to be over 13.
So we can't enter it then?
No.
Oh.
Unless you quickly move to New Zealand.
New Zealand, yeah, that's a bit of a letdown.
It's a bit British exclusive, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's a great award scheme because the amount of fan art that is out there, fans that are creating very short videos, animations, photography, all that sort of stuff is very prevalent in the Star Wars community. So it's great that they're recognising that and actually, you know, calling out people for it, because it could well be that if you've got somebody out there who's creating some digital media or whatever it may well be, it could be an opening for them to get into something, you know, in the industry that they may not otherwise get the chance to do, get their name known, etc. So I think it's great. It's just a shame that we over here in Blighty aren't going to look in.
And the Quebecians, because they're excluded as well, even though the rest of Canada is okay to enter. Which is
very strange, but yeah, it's a shame because I mean I know what talent we've got in this country, particularly in the Star Wars community, and you know the UK is used an awful lot for the creating of the films. There's masses of prop houses and digital artists, etc. over here that get utilised all the time for their talent. So it's a shame that there's a hotbed of talent here that might be getting missed out. You know.
Absolutely. If you are going to enter, why don't you copy us in? Let us see what you're entering. We'd love to see your fan art or whatever you're entering. Sounds absolutely fabberoony. And another piece of news that caught my attention, and I don't know how true this is, but according to WDW News today, the Yeti is going to be fixed.
Again?
For those of you who know the saga, the Yeti animatronic in Expedition Everest over at Animal Kingdom has not really done the right thing since 2008. okay? And the story we've all had is that it's such a highly advanced audio animatronic, and it's such embedded into Everest, its big mountain, that it just can't be done. It would be, they'd have to literally rip it apart.
Yes.
So what they are saying is that the attraction, the Everest project, will involve a lengthy refurbishment and other things occurring to the attraction.
Oh, okay. So the whole thing's going to go down for a while then, is it?
Yeah. And what makes me quite happy about this is now that you've got Pandora open, it won't feel such a loss to the park having its big thrill ride down.
Yes, that's very true, because obviously that has always been a problem in the past, hasn't it? Take one thing down, you kind of take a big chunk away.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Interesting.
It is. So, I said at the top of the show, it's Disneyland's big celebration. It is 63 years old.
Young. 63 years young.
Well, true.
We don't get old.
Do you know the names of all the attractions that opened on opening day?
I would love to say that off the top of my head and without any reference in front of me, Michelle, that I know them all, but unfortunately, that would have to be a no.
Let's see if our listeners can do this. Okay, I'm going to give you a few seconds to see if you can have a go, listeners. See if you can name the 14 attractions that opened on opening day. Go for it. If you want any more longer time, just press pause. I'm going to continue now. So, we have Autopia.
Okay.
We have the Disneyland Band. I'm including the band.
Okay, right.
The Disneyland Railroad.
Yeah.
Main Street Station.
Right.
Disneyland Railroad, New Orleans Square Station.
Okay.
Jungle Cruise.
Uh-huh.
King Arthur Carousel.
Of course, yeah.
Mad Tea Party.
Oh, all right.
Some nice spinny action going on there. They've classed, and I'm going on a list that's on touring plans here. They've classed the main entrance as an attraction.
Well, it's very lovely.
Yeah. Main Street Cinema.
Yes.
Mark Twain Riverboat.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Cool.
Peter Pan's Flight. Snow White's Scary Adventures. And Storybook Land Canal Boats.
Ah. Yes, 'cause it was predominantly Fantasyland, wasn't it, that was kind of opened first, if my knowledge is correct.
Do you know what the first attraction was to open after opening day? It wasn't just quite ready.
I don't actually know.
And technically there are two that opened in 1955.
Right.
The first was on the 31st, and that's Casey Jr. Circus Train.
Okay.
And the second was Dumbo the Flying Elephant, August 16th, 1955.
Ah, so quite a gradual sort of opening then, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we were having a bit of a chat, actually, seems I'm mentioning Dumbo, on the Facebook page earlier on last week about character meet and greets, what would you like to see, etc. And Dumbo was one of the ones that people said, yeah, I'd love to meet Dumbo. And I thought, hang on a minute, Dumbo had a meet and greet, and boy oh boy, he did.
Wow, and I would never have thought of that.
Me neither. That's why I googled and found pictures.
Was it a bit scary looking?
To be honest, it was weird looking, because obviously you imagine Dumbo being on all four legs, and he was sort of stood up with two sort of droopy legs.
How far back are we going for this? Was it
10 years, not too far ago.
Oh, okay. Because I know some of the early, the really, really early incarnations of some of the main characters, well, when you look at them now, a little bit freaky looking.
Well, look at Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Oof.
Anyway, let's keep on with our attraction day chat, because I was looking on Trip Savvy and they listed the top 15 Disneyland rides that you cannot miss. Now,
okay.
Can I just preface this? When they're saying Disneyland rides, they're talking about Disneyland Resort and not just Disneyland per se. They're including DCA.
Yeah.
So they've got their version.
Right.
I've written mine.
Okay.
I've asked you to write yours.
Yeah.
So, shall we see what our favourite attractions are in Disneyland and see if there's any common ground?
I'm guessing mine isn't going to be anything like yours, Michelle, but hey-ho.
But this is the thing about Disney, Jayne, isn't it? Everybody loves something different, and I think the thing is about these theme parks is that there's a little bit of something for everybody. So, do you want to do yours in reverse order or best down to least?
Oh, you know what? Can I be really awkward? I haven't really got an order because I found putting an order really, really difficult. So can I just go random?
Go on then.
Please, pretty please, because I don't know Disneyland as well as you do. So, a little bit haphazard.
All right, go for it, Jayne.
Right, okay. I'm going to go for... I will try and do this in reverse order then. I will try and do it reverse order, okay? I'm going to go for Disneyland Railroad.
Okie dokie.
Do you want me to carry on?
Yeah, just keep going. I'm not going to make a single comment.
Oh, this is very nerve-wracking, listeners. I don't like it when Michelle goes quiet. Okay, so Disneyland Railroad coming in at number 15. I'm then going to go Alice in Wonderland. That would be my number 14. This just proves that Jayne can count backwards as well.
Bit of Fantasyland action there.
Yeah. I'm then going to... Let's have a think. I'm going to stay that sort of out. I'm going to go Storybook Land Canal Boats next. Closely followed, kind of in the sort of theme, with Casey Jr. Circus Train. Let's hit up a little bit of adventure. I'm going to go for Indiana Jones Adventure. Closely followed by The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. How random can you get from those two? Indiana Jones to Winnie the Pooh. Hey ho.
Bit of a contrast, but they are technically both dark rides.
Yeah, thanks, Chel, for that. I'm then going to... And the only reason that I'm putting this in the middle of the field is because I've never ridden it, but I would like to. So I can't really say how much I would like it, but I think it's going to be pretty good, which would be Radiator Springs Racers. I'm then going to stick with DCA, and I'm going to go for Monsters, Inc. Mike and Sully to the rescue. Now then, we're getting into the top half. I think we're going to start the top half off with... You'll see where this is going. This is going to get all very similar now, I would say. I'm going to start off with Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, because I just love all that animatronics. Fantastic stuff. Now we're going to get really tricky now. I'm going to go for, and this will please Michelle, Snow White's Scary Adventures.
You mean it's not number one?
No. Ugh. Well, I can't take your spot, can I? Right. Then we're going to have Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room. We're going to follow it up with Big Thunder Mountain. Close on its heels is going to be Haunted Mansion. Oh, I've got two left. It's tough. I'm going to have to. I can't not. It's going to have to be Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. And you know what's going to be number one, don't you?
Go on.
It's A Small World. And that should be 15. I hope I got my maths right.
You did indeed. I was busy typing that up onto a little bit of an old document in front of me. Wow, that's quite a list. And I must admit, Jayne, there's a few curveballs being put in there that are very different to mine.
Well, I must admit, when I went through it all, because obviously Disney World would be my home, what I would call my home park. I was trying to pick things for Disneyland that would be unique to Disneyland as much as I possibly could, if that makes sense. And obviously there's elements of DCA that I haven't experienced, so that was a little bit difficult. So that's probably why I've not got too much from over at DCA. Just my little thought process.
So, my list.
Go on.
And as I say, I struggled because I couldn't narrow it down to 15 because I hadn't even included the railroad. I'm like banging my head against the wall as you mentioned in the railroad. And then I forgot all about the Tiki Room where I can have a Dole Whip, which makes it totally unique. And I'm like, how could I forget that? But anyway.
So hold a minute. So your list is bigger than mine?
Well, no, I've not been able to include them. So I'm sulking. So I'm starting at 15 with Monsters, Inc. because I think it's one of my favourite dark rides.
Yeah.
Barnstormer. Now, I just love this, but I will preface it by saying it's better at night than it is during the daytime.
Okay.
Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. I just love it.
Oh, see, I've never done that one, so that's why I couldn't really... Yeah.
It's a Small World.
Okay.
Alice in Wonderland. Snow White.
Oh, not top. Okay.
I know, but as an attraction goes, there are better attractions in my opinion, but as a franchise goes, it is the best.
Okay.
So maybe that's one for a future thing. What's the best franchise in a Disney theme park?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to put in the Matterhorn.
Right, okay.
Then Pirates. Then Splash Mountain. Then Thunder.
Right.
Then Mansion.
Yeah.
Then Space Mountain.
Yeah.
then Guardians.
Ah, right, okay. I must admit, I nearly kind of put that on my list, which would have shocked the what's it out of you, but yeah.
Well, yeah, because you've not ridden it.
I know, but it's not the galaxy. Sorry.
Number 2, even though I've not ridden it, but I have ridden the original incarnation, Incredicoaster.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And my number 1 spot goes to the ultimate thrill/dark ride, something for a bit of everybody, Racers.
Ah. Yeah, quite different list then, haven't we? Although I would say very quintessentially us. You know, that element of you're more scary, throw aroundy, and I'm more sedate and sitting downy.
True. But to be honest, the list that was on Trip Savvy was like, what? In their top 15, they've got Turtle Talk, It's a Small World, Incredicoaster, Thunder, Space, Toy Story Mania, Nemo Subs, Star Tours. I'm so surprised you didn't include Star Tours, by the way.
I know, but it's only because I associate it more with Disney World, and I was like trying to be very Disneyland specific.
Soarin', Splash Mountain, Racers, Guardians, Indy, Mansion, and their number 1 was Pirates.
Yeah, I suppose this just highlights, doesn't it, how the classic big thrill attractions, the bigger rides and the more well-known rides tend to jump out, isn't it? And it proves how difficult it actually is to pin down a set number of attractions, because what I would think would be an ideal list to go through, you're not going to think, and neither is Fred Blogs down the road sort of thing.
Absolutely. Completely. And this is the thing, that everybody has a different take on it. So I love that. I really do. So I thought, right, okay, let's move away from that, and then we're going to go and answer a listener's question.
All right.
And basically, the question was sent by James Duckle, and he's saying, we are going to Walt Disney World. What beverages should we acquire before we leave? So I thought I'd separate this into 2 sections, James, because I'm very much of the, let's get organised, and we're going to extend the list from the top 5 to 10. And we're going to have 5 non-alcoholic and 5 alcoholic, although some of the non-alcoholic ones can be made alcoholic. Does that sound fair?
I think so, yeah.
And I've kind of massaged the concept of what a beverage is.
Okay.
Okay, I will be honest. Everybody knows that if you buy a Mickey bar, it will eventually become a liquid. But I didn't include that.
I thought you were going to say the Dole Whip with the bit of rum added too, because therefore it becomes a liquid and beverage because you've got a drink in it.
Well, funny you mentioned the Dole Whip, because I have actually included the Dole Whip in this list, Jayne. And I suggested that you go to the Magic Kingdom, head on over to the lower aisle in Adventureland and buy yourself the Dole Whip float, because it's a beverage come ice creamy, soft serve, whippy, gorgeous, delightful, refreshing, pineapple tangy, year of the pineapple, according to Kat from Diz Down Under, at $5.49. And to me, that is perfect, because you can slurp it, you can spoon it, but you can definitely enjoy it.
I'll forgive you for that one, Michelle.
Go on then. I've shared one of mine, you share one of yours.
Well, it'll be very obvious on my list that I got given the task of finding the alcoholic beverages around Disney World.
I wonder why.
Oi, you'd be nice to me, you. Well, I'm going to start in Epcot, and we're going to go to La Cava del Tequila. I'm going for their wild passion fruit. So we've got tequila, ginger liqueur, passion fruit and mango puree, fresh lime juice and mango foam, served on the rocks, and then it's got a rim, and it's tagine chili powder going around the rim.
Ooh, bit of spice.
Bit of kick at the end. I think that's kind of, yeah.
And I suppose if you don't like spice, you can always sort of ask for it without, or just remove it with a napkin.
Or choose a different drink.
True.
Because there's quite a lot to choose from, to be fair, at the older La Cava. There's lots of very delicious sounding tequila drinks in there, if that's your particular beverage of choice.
Fantastic. Well, let's move back to the Magic Kingdom for a non-alcoholic beverage. And I'm going to be taking you to Gaston's Tavern for a Le Fou's Brew. And this is a frozen apple juice with toasted marshmallow hint, topped with all-natural passion fruit mango foam. $5.79, and you will notice foams and bobber balls appear quite a lot at the moment. It's very in vogue.
Yes, I was actually only talking about this a couple of days ago with some colleagues at work about various cocktails that have been tried that had the little bally things going around. So even over here in the UK, random.
Absolutely fabaroony. Let's go on to your next one, Jayne. Number 2.
Disney Springs, Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar, and this is. I was searching around for different bits and bobs to try, and I've actually found 2 drinks over at Jock Lindsay's, and one kind of reminds me of my mum, and one reminds me of my dad. So this one is for my mum. This is, and this is called Shorty's Singapore Sling, and this is because it's got Plymouth gin, which was my mum's favourite. Herring, cherry liqueur, Benedictine, Cointreau, fresh lime, pineapple juice, and then topped off with some grenadine. Quite a classic sort of cocktail there, I feel.
Absolutely yummy. If you like a little bit of gin, that's the one you want to be getting in. Okay, the next one is from Skipper's Canteen. Obviously, it's not one that you can just walk up and get. You've got to have a dinner reservation.
Yeah.
And this is the Schweitzer Slush, and it's a frozen apple and passion fruit drink topped with green apple bobber balls. It's $6.50. And I just chose this one because it's so nice and refreshing. A lot of these are very apple-y based drinks, which, to be honest, if I had a choice between apple and orange, I think apple makes a better base because it's more thirst quenching, whereas orange sometimes isn't. And again, with the green bobber balls, not only does it look attractive, it's a little bit of fun, but I think, that's pushing the envelope on price because $6.50 is quite a lot for a non-alcoholic beverage.
How can I say, for just a soft drink, essentially looks a bit fancy.
Yeah. What's yours next?
Well, we're going to stay at Jock Lindsay's, and this is called the Mayor's Reserve. Now, this is a bourbon, which my dad absolutely loves, and it's called the Woodford Reserve Bourbon. And that's got blackberry brandy with it, simple syrup and fresh lemon juice. Now, I'm not normally a bourbon whiskey type of gal, but I kind of like the sound of having a bit of blackberry if it's nice and sharp going through that. So, yeah, I'm intrigued by that combination of bourbon and blackberry.
Yummylicious. Well, I'm now heading away from the Magic Kingdom. Seems I've had a trio of beverages there, and I'm going to the Animal Kingdom. And this, since last year, has been wowing guests all over the park and Instagram because it is such a pretty, colourful drink. Yes, you're all screaming at me, Michelle. It is the Night Blossom. This is layers of apple and dessert pear limeade, topped with passion fruit bobber balls. It's $5.99, and I'm adding a notable mention for Jayne's list that you can add Bacardi Superior rum to make it a little bit more zingy for $10.25.
Yeah, it's all very bobble bally this week, isn't it, Michelle?
Yeah, bobber balls and frozen and foam and
and appley. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go to Hollywood Studios and the Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge, and we're going to have a grapefruit cake martini.
Ooh.
So this is ruby red grapefruit vodka, which I love the sound of that. It's going to be nice and sharp, and with some stolly of vanilla vodka, a splash of cream, and a vanilla wafer rim.
And no doubt on the side you get yourself a serving of the grapefruit cake.
I think that would be rude not to, would it not?
But you've got to like grapefruit.
I love grapefruit.
Oh, you'll love that cake then. Okay, my last one is the newest drink to actually hit the Magic Kingdom, and I don't know if everybody's heard about this one. This is the new Peter Pan float, which is available from Storybook Treats.
Well, I've not heard about this.
It's $5.49, and if you imagine your Dole Whip float that comes in that big sort of clear beverage cup, it's a similar principle that the glass is sort of halfway filled with Sprite, which us Brits call lemonade. In the USA, it's Sprite. We would also maybe call it 7-Up.
Yeah.
Yeah? And then swirled on top is key lime ice cream.
Oh, can I just have the key lime ice cream, please?
Well, that's what I was thinking. And they've not put a cherry on the top, though. To make it fit in with Peter Pan, they've put a red chocolate feather. But
that's cute.
I don't like lemonade. Only if I'm poorly, then I'll have it warmed up with a little tot of something naughty. But, yeah, I just want the ice cream. That absolutely sounds delightful.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not as big an ice cream fan as you, Michelle, but actually key lime, that sounds rather nice, actually.
I think they're missing a treat though, Jayne. Key lime ice cream, Sprite, you know what it's asking for. A little bit of spirits in there. What spirits could you add to that drink to make it va-va-voom? You could maybe add a little bit of what? Martini. You might want to add vodka. You might
white rum.
Oh, yeah. You could make an amazing drink with some tequila with that, and then you've got the lime. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is screaming out for an alcoholic version of, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're not offering it yet until they've heard my idea, and then they'll steal it and pretend it's theirs.
True. As they always do, Michelle.
Yeah. What's your final one, Jayne?
My final one is I'm going to the Wilderness Lodge, Michelle. I'm going to Territory Lounge just because it's such a lovely little place to go. And this is the Raspberry Ginger Mojito. So raspberry vodka, ginger, mint, raspberry puree, and then lime juice. And then it's topped off with coconut water. That sounds really nice and refreshing to me.
You had me till the coconut water. I don't
Why?
get this coconut water thing. I tried it and I didn't like it.
Yeah, but be masked with all the vodka and the ginger and the mint and the raspberry.
I'll just ask it for her without the coconut water. Give me tap water. I'm from Yorkshire.
A plain and simple lass, yeah, I know.
Yeah, and if you are going to the Territory Lounge to get that drink that Jayne recommended, you've got to get the donuts that Michelle recommended.
You see, we have this between us, Michelle, that we can, get that perfect combination of drink and food.
Because that is what a Disney trip is about. A marriage made in heaven.
Absolutely.
So that basically wraps up that segment, James. I hope you are happy with our suggestions. Let us know what you end up getting. We would love to know back from you if you actually managed to try any of those.
Definitely.
You can always flood our Facebook with lots of pictures of you trying out these drinks. We'd be really grateful to hear from you. As usual, you can contact us on our email, info@disneydreamgirls.com. Social media, we can be found on Instagram and Twitter @DisDreamGirls. You can also find our Facebook page by searching Disney Dream Girls and giving it a like and joining in with some of the fun that we have on over there. But until next week, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.